Hallelujah! How's it going? My name is Blessious, and a lot of rumblings were coming from E3. A lot of good things, of course, about Destiny 2, but one was a story about Luke Smith saying that the Stranger's storyline has been wrapped up. I believe, I'm kind of misquoting him here, but out of all the stories that we started and wrapped up, hers was one that ended the nicest, or something like that, coming to the explanation that, hey, she came, she had no time to explain, you did the thing, you got a rifle, she left. But who was on the phone with her? Who was telling her about, like, Vex coming? Was it Rasputin? Was it Osiris? I don't know, but that is why we are gonna go in to the Black Garden, the final story mission of Vanilla, and I just want to explain some things that I thought back in 2014 when I played this, and also how I feel about, well, the Stranger being written out of the story. Well, not written out, I guess, like they kind of wrote her out the story at the end of the game. But anyway, let's just go and let's talk about it. Oh man, it's been a while since I played this, no lie. I want to show you two weapons that I'm using. I'm using one of my favorite weapons in the entire game. Towards the end of year 2, this was my favorite gun. I got a God Roll Hawk Saw. It's just my favorite gun ever. And then the Queen Breaker's Bow, which is actually coming to its own new archetype. I don't know if you saw, like, a lot of content creators were finding that there's a new weapon called, well, weapon type rather, called linear fusion rifles, and it's like exactly this and Sleeper Simulant, where, like, you charge down the shot instead of it's just one powerful burst that might be able to one shot, or basically it's like the Sleeper Simulant and Queen Breaker's Bow, and I like that, man. Also, let me say, I used to come out here in Vanilla when you couldn't buy spin metal or relic iron, and you had to go farm it. This was my place to farm it. And then when Taken King came out, this place was a little bit needed because, well, you had to hunt the Taken. I definitely hunted a lot of Taken in this general area. So back to the Stranger. She's definitely the person, or the EXO rather, that really, ignited Destiny's story. I mean, without her, we wouldn't get into, like, the Black Garden. Well, her and the Queen, but technically, she told us to go to the Queen. I mean, I just don't understand, because isn't there, like, the patrol bounties in Taken King and even Rise of Iron, where, like, they're mysterious, like a mysterious person is sending you these things, and everyone thought that was the Stranger too, right? I mean, I don't know, to me that's what I always thought was, that was the Stranger giving you those things, and that's what you had to do. I mean, she helped us with a Vex, and towards the end of Destiny 1, I was very certain, like, very, 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 very certain that the Vex were kind of like the ultimate baddies. Like, they were the ones that were gonna, bring, this destruction of, well, everything that we loved, and, well, also, Vault of Glass and all that stuff. And then, after Vault of Glass, the Vex were always just on the back burner, Even when Skolas came, just like, hey, it's kind of like they came, they got the technology, and they were able to do what they wanted, yada, yada, yada. And I was just like, okay, but, the Stranger has to come back. I mean, if they're setting up Osiris, and Osiris is getting his own DLC, you think that, like, maybe, like, Osiris was the person sending Stranger. Or maybe, Luke Smith said all that stuff, and, maybe he wants us to believe that, the Stranger's not coming back, and we're pleasantly surprised. I don't know. Also, I do want to say, back when I played this for the first time, this scared me, because I didn't know if these things would come to life. Playing the game for so long, I can tell, like, these guys are a little low poly compared to the actual live ones, over here. Let's see if we can see which ones are the real one, because, they come to life. Alright? Low poly, low poly. See, look at this! Obviously, it's this guy. Look at this! Either I have a really good eye. I don't know, I'm starting to believe I might need glasses, actually. I don't know. But again, it's a game that we have been playing, well, for me, since 2014. For me, I don't know, Destiny is really something that, took me by a lot of surprise. I was really down at a certain point in my life, and you know, I got to play this with a group of friends, and you know, it was something that, you know, in year one, especially with like the loot and everything, it was something that, you know, was a lot of fun to grind, and we didn't have an MLG group by chance or anything like that, and it was a lot of fun. Definitely not story driven, activity and loot driven, and also the fact that, you know, you could play with friends, and you know, it could be a lot of fun. But for me, from where I am, I wouldn't mind for Destiny to have a killer story. You know, like I know that it's all about the end game and everything, but it's still, you know, at the bottom of the day, or at the end of the day, I would love there to be like a badass story just to go with along with it. And I'm sure that, you know, that they had all the years, you know, when people say Destiny, people always joke about, oh, it's lack of story. So I'm sure that they wouldn't make the mistake again. I'm sure there's a cohesive story that I hope isn't, you know, just like, bum ba da da, you're level 20, let's go do the raid, or, you know, Trials of the 9 or Trials of whatever. I really hope that there's like a nice cohesive story. I know that we have to get the Vanguard together, but I hope it's just not, you know, like 8 story missions, you know, or like 9 story missions, 3 story missions for, you know, getting Zavala back, getting Ikora back, getting Cade back. I hope it's a long story, and I would not be upset if it was like a, you know, 7 to 8 hour story. Personally, and I would not mind if the grind to level cap was extensive. I used to play World of Warcraft in the day, and I truly believe that it's easier to get to level cap in Destiny than it is to get level cap in, well, vanilla WoW or anything like that. Definitely. There is more levels, but I don't know, it's just, even for a level, it's more work than it is in Destiny. So I wouldn't mind there to be a lot of grinding. And say, like, I also wouldn't mind it, I don't know, some people might complain about it, but I also wouldn't mind it if, say, you know, you had to grind levels to be able to do another story mission. I had to do that a little bit in Destiny 1, just to be able to, you know, I remember there was a huge gap between the Cabal missions and the Vex missions. I remember the Vex missions used to be hard for me because I went in maybe like 2 levels below, but I definitely remember the Cabal being hard as hell to be able to do. So I wouldn't mind if there's like some grinding, being like, hey, you know, for you to be able to do this story mission, you gotta grind, buddy. And, you know, you have to maybe, you know, do some patrol-y stuff. Oh my god, I would love that. And, you know, the way that they're talking about, you know, there's a weekly objective for each patrol zone. Oh, man, I would love that. And like they said, like, for each weekly patrol zone, you know, featured, whatever, there'd be, like, Nightfall level tier rewards. Oh, I would love that. Man, I cannot wait for the first week of D2, man. I seriously cannot wait to get in, to play the story. I'll definitely be streaming the hell out of it, for sure. I'll be, like, I'll be streaming everything, and then probably just get level cap done, and then I don't know, I'm not too sure. I definitely know with at least the beta, I'll be streaming all the beta. I'll be playing the beta. Like, you have no idea how much beta I'm gonna play when I get in there. I'm just excited about that. I'm also excited that the beta dates are separated between PC and console. As a content creator, oh, that's magnificent. That is just splendiferous. Like, seriously, like, it really is, because, like, instead of waiting, you know, 2 months for the game to release, we kind of have like a month little gap where we can hop in and play even more Destiny. I'm really excited about that. So over here, this is the way that you would go to, I forget the name of it, but it's my least favorite strike. It's the way that it leads to down there, and you have to fight forget the name of it, but it's my least favorite strike, and I hate it. But let's carry on. Let's go down there. Even for a 2014 game, these skyboxes are amazing. It's not until, like, you really zoom that you can see that, hey, it's not that pretty. But even from here, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Destiny 2 on PC definitely looks way different because it's 60 frames per second, and, you know, it's been, you know, years of me just, you know, playing this game and you know, used to the 30 frames per second. So anytime I play a 60 frames per second game, it takes me a while, my eyes to adjust. I'm like, it's so fast. It's so fast. But yeah, that's just how I am. I'm really sad that technically the stranger is gone. I'm very sad about that because I wouldn't mind it for it to have been connected to technically the Osiris character. But even the flavor text on the No Time to Explain pulse rifle, right? It says soon, I believe, right? So either, like, you could also say, like, was the stranger talking to Praedyth? Was she talking to Osiris? And these are actually legitimate questions. But Luke Smith was like, hey, you know, out of all the characters, we kind of tied her up the best. It's like, I get, like, if like, it was a character that was there to piece the story together, and there really wasn't any mention of her anywhere in the story after that, except, you know, maybe the Grimoire, or you know, the hint that the person handing out the bounties that are mysterious and they have to solve the words to solve the bounty. You know, I just always thought that was her, you know, but nope, she's gone. She's gone forever. Unless Luke Smith is like making it up to, which I totally understand. It could be kind of like the Jon Snow thing. It could technically be like the Jon Snow thing, where like they're like, Jon Snow's dead, right? And everyone's like, what? How could you kill Jon Snow, right? And then, you know, the whole summer people are like, what? And then you wait and see that he just wakes up because, well, I don't want to get too spoiler, but he doesn't die. It's not too much of a spoiler. I mean, if you saw any preview, I mean, you'd see him in it. So there's your, there's me saying it's not a spoiler, but technically it is. Sorry. But if you saw a preview of the next season, you'd technically see Jon Snow. Anyway, a lot of people die. But I guess a lot of people could be, whatever. I don't know. So I think that it could be something like that, you know? So, like, he's like, yeah, you know, out of all the stories, and then has, like, a lot of people like, dude, why? And he could be, like, you know, trolling a little bit and getting, you know, people talk about it. But I don't know. I think, like, we could see a little bit more of the stranger. Like, I know that the voice actress for it was, I don't know her name, but I know people say that she was on Walking Dead. So a lot of people were like, maybe she was too expensive to work with. I don't know. Maybe, sorta. But I don't know. It's just really weird that they would just be like, well, she's done. It's over with. I mean, technically, even if you think about it, you know, the queen, she could be, you know, technically wrapped up. It could be like, hey, Prince Aldrin's the lead character. In the Grimoire, they said that Eris Morn left the tower, and, you know, she's on her search for, you know, some other people, or, you know, she's going to do a little research about, you know, the Taken and the Hive, and see if there's a bigger threat. She alludes to a bigger Hive threat coming, you know? So it could be something like that. But I just, it's also funny because I don't think that Banshee or the Cryptarch are going to be in Destiny 2. I believe they might be casualties of the tower. That's just, like, there's nothing that was said to allude to that. It's just, like, you don't see any bit of them. And they did say, you know, the main way you get loot is through engrams in Destiny 2. But I wonder if, like, engrams are going to decrypt right on the spot. There's, like, no need for a Cryptarch. That'd be a little bit interesting. But I wouldn't mind seeing the Cryptarch being, you know, annihilated with the tower. I don't mean to be, you know, mean in any way, but, you know, the Cryptarch could be a casualty. I feel bad for Banshee because, if you don't know, Banshee is the voice of Marcus Phoenix, Gears of War, Bender from Futurama, Waka from Final Fantasy X. That is Banshee. So I would love to see his story, you know, expanded on a little bit. But again, it's a character that, you know, really just hooked you up with a sleeper simulant and it was like, I'm out. And your arms day orders, of course. Don't forget the arms day orders. But I would like to see that guy extended in story. By the way, back in the day, this area used to be so hard for me to do. I died on this mission in this specific area so many times. I would walk down and I would rush over here, deploy the ghost, rush over here and deploy the ghost. And you can do that without fighting anyone. But it wasn't until like you get to here and have to deploy this that you would have to fight some people. And that was definitely the hardest thing for me. So over here, we kind of have the vaulted glass kind of architecture in there. Now we get in to the final boss of Vanilla Destiny. Aloha! What's going on down here? The Black Heart. Oh baby, let's get the cutscenes. Get the cutscenes. Look at my sexy vaulted glass cloaked hunter. My SRL helmet. My Han Solo vest. And I think I'm rocking the Frosty. But I'm looking good. They didn't really say anything about the Black Heart really either in this story. It was just like it was controlling the Vex, right? But the Vex could flow through time, so technically the Black Heart could come back at any point in time, right? I don't know. Also, the Vex, they look different in D2, and I love that. I love the fact that they actually are stylized a bit different. All the enemies are stylized a little bit different, even the Guardians and everything. Let's kick me in the butt. I hope this mission used the cutscene of the stranger, because I would love to see what she says at the end. I definitely would not mind seeing that. What's going on, guys? I also think it's funny that we don't kill the Black Heart by by shooting at it. We kill it by killing the Minotaurs it throws at us. I always thought that was interesting. I don't know. I always expect, like, maybe Bowser pops out or something, but no, it's just some space goo. And I was just curious. I mean, is that the darkness itself? Technically, no, but yes. And is the Hive technically darkness? Is it, like, technically, they're strangers from another, dimension, yada, yada, yada. They just want, everything to be perfect, and their vision of perfect is not us. And so they're technically not darkness. Like, the closest thing to darkness technically are Taken, because they are darkness. But the Hive, right? Because they've signed pacts with the darkness, right? And the Fallen, the Elixir, I never understood why we just didn't team up with them. Yeah, they killed a lot of people, and they killed a lot of Guardians, yada, yada, yada. Like, they could coexist with us, and if they coexisted with us, they could probably, live with us and, have, some, of the Traveler's Glory. That's what I was thinking. I think even most people that, read into Grimoire would agree with me on that a little bit. Like, they'd be the easiest people to write in that they could work with us, right? 1000%. I think they really could. Because, like, why wouldn't they? If you sit down and think about it, like, they want them all to themselves. Understandable, But as the Guardian, we could save so many lives. We could wipe out the darkness if we're like, hey, you know what? We take this side of the earth, you take that side of the earth. We'll, like, wipe out the darkness, and then maybe you take over Venus. Venus is yours. You like Venus a little bit. We'll take Mars. We'll we're just gonna blow up the moon because the Hive, and then we're good. We're good. And then that'd be it. I seriously think that might be like a Destiny 3 line. But there are a lot of parallels between Destiny and Halo because of Bungie. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, the Master Chief and what's his name? The Arbiter kind of thing, with, like, maybe we talk to one of the highest Kells of Kells, and, like, obviously we won't play him for a mission because, well, it's all about our Guardian technically. But that'd be cool if, like, all of a sudden, like, at the farm, or when we take back the tower, which I don't think we'll retake back the tower in Destiny 2, because I believe I think personally that the tower is going to be where the raid is going to be. Personally, I don't know. That's what I think personally. Anyway, yada yada yada. I just really wouldn't mind seeing, like, a Fallen in one of our social spaces, and maybe maybe not all the houses of the Fallen align with us, but maybe the one that Prince Aldrin commands. That's a spoiler if anyone's not reading into Grimoire. That is definitely Prince Aldrin is alluded to having a Fallen house. Like, he aligned himself with the Fallen house. So, and that's the House of Kings, I believe. House of Kings, I believe. I believe so. I might be wrong, but that is definitely what I believe. I think. So I wouldn't mind, in a social space. Yeah, technically you could say, well, Varix, Barracks is on our side, but I'm talking about a full house. Full hell house. And then we restore order to the elixir. I mean, it's Destiny. Technically, anything can happen. His heart's getting smaller. I just realized that the domes that this thing was hanging onto is losing. Huh. Interesting. Also, how am I killing this thing? Like, I don't understand. It is getting smaller. I never understood this. I'm sorry for looking into it too much. Alright, Primal Mind. Time to get... Wait, are you aligned with Andy Cooch, Primal Mind? I don't know. Yeah, it's a bad company. Alright, get it because Primal... The comp team? No? Alright. Let's just go with a linear fusion rifle to the stomach for D2's sake because we need some Destiny 2, baby. And let's wave. Let's wave. Let's do a little dance as the thing destroys itself. And listen to the story. Oh, my eyes! Oh! Oh my god, it's so beautiful in here. No cutscenes. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's little, like, rant, story time kind of video. A lot of people like it when I do PvE, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, Stranger, not in Destiny 2, apparently. Okay, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Until next time, Kawabanga!